All right, so this time we are going to learn about the English majorship questions and their rationale. So this is part of the review, and I would like to give credit to the owner of the slides. So let's start with this English majorship questions and rationale. So we have here question number one. Who said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country? A. We have Richard M. Nixon. B. Lyndon B. Johnson. And C. Dwight D. Eisenhower. And letter D. John F. Kennedy. All right, so the answer is letter D. John F. Kennedy. So, on January 20, 1961, President John F. Kennedy delivered his inaugural address at the height of the Cold War. One of the most striking lines in his speech is, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country, which paved the way for people to realize what it means to be an American, that more than anything, it is their duty to be of service to others. Okay, so let's have number two. She is generous to a fault. A. Seldom. B. Rarely. C. Infrequently. D. Excessively. All right, so the right answer is letter D. Excessively. All right. So generous to a fault is an idiomatic expression which means too generous, overly generous. When a person exhibits such generosity, it means that he or she manifests it in ways more than the usual. The closest answer is letter D, excessively. A word which is indicates that something goes beyond what is usual, normal, or proper. For your choice, A, seldom, B, rarely, and C, infrequently all mean the same thing. So, not happening often. All right, so let's have number three. Okay, Charlie's grandmother is already 95 years old. She is blind, or she is as blind as Beth. Okay, our choices is A, having one blind eye, B, having total blindness, C, having a very poor vision, D, having a slightly poor vision. Okay, so the answer here is letter C, having a very poor vision. All right. So, blind as a bat is an idiomatic expression which means not able to see well or poor vision. Before, people think that bats are totally blind, but the truth is they only have poor eyesight. Given this, letters A and B should be omitted since the aforementioned phrase does not suggest blindness, while D, slightly poor vision, is the second best option, considering that the grandmother is already 95 years old. All right, so let's proceed to number four. Richard revolved to act more wisely next time. A, hope. B, consented. D, promised. D, decided. So I guess the answer is promised. All right. So number four is promised. The phrase more act more wisely next time suggests that some revolving or change should happen or be done and not just thought of. So letter C, promise, means to show signs of something that is expected to happen, while the letter D, decide, is only the second best option because decisions are based on options as well as pieces of evidence, and the former and the latter are not emphasized in the sentence. So letter A, hope, and letter B, consented, are less likely the answers because Richard cannot just want or agree to be more wise in the future. So the answer is letter C, promised. All right. So next, number 5. Punctuality is imposed in this office. So A, okay, A. So being efficient, B, being cheerful, C, being courteous, and D, being on time. So what's your answer? All right. So the answer here is B, being on time. All right. Okay. Being on time. Letter B. All right. So when someone is punctual, okay, he or she arrives, does something at the expected or planned time. Letter B, cheerful, and C, courteous, are not strong grounds to be imposed in an office, while D has something to do with the capacity to produce the desired result. So the best answer is letter C, being on time. Okay, so let's have number 6. The marketing officers were asked to go over the figures in their reports before the conference. All right, so go over. A, calculate. B, revise. C, review. D, compute. All right, so the answer for number 6 is review. All right, so review. So go over is an example of appraisal verb, which means examine, consider, or check the details. The closest answer would be letter C, review. To look at or examine. All right. So let's proceed to number 7. The woman reported that the diamonds snatched from her were genuine. All right. So A, real. B, valuable. C, synthetic. D, imitations. Okay, from the word genuine. So our answer is letter A, real. All right. So when we say genuine means actual, real, or true. While our choices letter C, synthetic, and the letter D, imitations, are antonyms of the former, while letter B, valuable, is less of a reason for the diamonds to be reported missing than A, which is real. So the choices or the right answer for this item is letter A, real. Okay, so let's have number 8. Two friends had a serious fight, and another friend came to pour oil on the troubled waters. So our choices are A, to worsen the guilt, B, to worsen the fight, C, to smooth out a quarrel, D, to put the blame on them. Okay, so pour oil on the troubled waters. So our choice here is letter C, to smooth out a quarrel. All right. So when we say pour oil on the troubled waters is an idiomatic expression, which means to try to stop. Okay, to try to stop a quarrel. All right. And while our choice lit A is to worsen the guilt, to worsen the fight, and to put the blame on them, the following answers signify a worsening of the situation per se. And to think a friend in his right mind who sees his friends fighting would not make things worse nor put the blame on them but help them patch things up. Okay, so the best answer is letter C. Okay, to smooth out a quarrel. Right, so let's proceed now to number 9. Nobody wants to listen to him. He always bats the breeze. All right, so bats the breeze. So again, this is an idiomatic expression. So our choices is letter A, talk cruelly. Okay, so letter B, talk rudely. C, talk nonsense or exaggerated or exaggerate. And letter D, talk indiscreetly. So bats the breeze. It is an idiomatic expression, so our choice here is letter C. Okay, this is letter C, talk nonsense or exaggerate. All right. So when one bats the breeze, he or she chats aimlessly or casually without any serious topic. So for letter C is the best answer because if the conversation is serious, it would have some sense. While our choice is letter A, talk really, and B, talk rudely, and D, talk indiscreetly would require a negative reaction as well. Not merely indifference, nobody wants to listen, but perhaps annoyance or anger. So, in this item, our answer is letter C, talk nonsense, exaggerate. All right, so let's proceed now to number 10. He dreams of becoming a lawyer. However, his dream is somewhat a bird in the bus. Okay, so another idiomatic expression, a bird in a bus. All right, so our choices is A, illusion, B, uncertain, C, illusion, D, extraordinary. So the answer here is uncertain, letter B. All right. So the phrase bird in the bus came from the expression a bird in the hand is worth two in the bus. This means that it is better to have an advantage or opportunity that is certain than having one that is worth more, but it's not so certain. So a bird in the hand, all right, so is yours. And it's not going anywhere unless you let it go. But if you leave it and go for two in the bus, there is no guarantee you'll catch them. You might end up with nothing in the end. In connection to this given sentence, if there's no guarantee, then there's B, uncertainty when it comes to his dreams. Okay, so the right answer for this item is letter B, the uncertain. Okay, so let's proceed to number 11. Wincy is quite happy now that she lives in Clover. Okay, so our choices is A, happiness, B, lives with her family, C, lives close to her relatives and friends. Okay, our answer is we have letter A. All right, happiness. Okay, so if you are in Clover, you are happy or secure because you have a lot of money, okay, or are enjoying a luxurious lifestyle. Since there is no money involved, the best answer, which is nearest, okay, which is nearest to the definition, is the word happiness. So our answer for this item is letter A, happiness. All right, so let's proceed to number 12. Cleanliness, okay, cleanliness is still at a discount in many parts of the world or of the country. Our choices are believe, attended to, not to be valued fully, the valued full. Okay, so the answer is letter C, not to be valued fully. Okay, so one meaning of the word discount is price reduction. With this, one can replace price with cleanliness. If cleanliness is reduced, then it must be not be valued to its fullest. While A, B, and D are all positive words. So the correct answer is letter C. We have not to be valued fully. Okay. So number 13, carry on with your work. Okay. So be on time. B, continue. C, carry to work. D, stop. So our answer for this item, number 13, is continue. Okay. So carry on is an example of a word or of a phrasal verb, which means continue an activity or task. The closest answer would be the word continue. Okay, so not letter D, but letter C. Continue. All right, so number 14. Lolo Carito is really blank man. A, sweet, a sweet old. B, a sweet old. C, a sweet oldie. D, an oldie sweet. Okay, so the answer here is letter A, a sweet old. All right. So a sweet old letter A. So we are going to talk about the coordinate versus the cumulative adjectives. So the comma rule comes down to the difference between the two kinds of adjectives. All right. So we have the coordinate and the cumulative. So coordinate adjectives are adjectives in a row that each separately modify the noun that follows as in heavy, bulky box. Both heavy and bulky modify the box, and you can even rearrange the adjectives and say bulky, heavy box. All right. So now for the cumulative adjectives. Okay. So on the other hand, don't separately modify the noun that follows even though they are all stacked up before the noun. Instead, the adjective right before the noun pairs with the noun as a unit, and the adjective before the unit modifies that. So an example would be exquisite custom house boat. Okay, so custom modifies house boat. Okay, another again, custom modifies house boat. Okay, so they become one unit. All right, they become one unit, and then exquisite modifies custom house boat. Unlike coordinate adjectives, you can rearrange cumulative adjectives because it would sound awkward. Okay, so remember for this item, our answer is a sweet old. Okay, a sweet, comma, and old. So as part of the continuation of the explanation on this item for the coordinate versus the cumulative adjectives, use commas when you could add an and. Okay, so we use commas when you could add an and. If you can separate the words with and, okay, then you can separate them with commas. Also, if you can rearrange adjectives, then you can separate them with commas. All right. So in the given sentence, both sweet and old modify the man. All right. You can even rearrange the adjective and say sweet, comma, old man. As such, sweet and old are coordinate adjectives. Thus, a comma is appropriate. So for the order of adjectives, we have the determiner, article, comma, number, A, and 2, opinion, sweet, 3, size, 4, shape, 5, age, okay, here, and age old, and 6, color, 7, nationality or origin, and 8, we have the material, and 9 is the purpose. All right. So for item number 15, Mustang used to be blank sports car. All right. A, fine German. B, a fine German. C, a German fine. D, a fine German. Okay. Our answer is letter B, a fine German. Okay. So again, as our explanation earlier, a fine German is our answer. So we have here the coordinate versus the cumulative adjectives. So let's move on to number 16. Okay, so everyone was home for the holidays. What could make for blank Christmas than that? A, merriest. B, merry. C, the merriest. D, a merrier. Okay, so the answer is letter D, a merrier. All right. So we have here now the rules on the indefinite and the definite article with adjectives. So do not use the definite article with the comparative example. So for the correct, today is a colder day than yesterday. So incorrect, today is the colder day than yesterday. Okay, so use the definitive. Okay, use the definitive article with the superlative examples. This the best steak I have ever eaten. This is the largest country in the world, and the sentence suggests a comparison with the use of than, and the comparative form of merry is merrier. Hence, the answer is letter D. Okay, so let's proceed to number 17. Okay, those are probably the blankets in the store. Our choices are A, most fancy, B, fanciest, C, least fancy, D, most fanciest. All right, so our answer is letter B, fanciest. So again, for the rules on forming superlative adjectives. So superlative method, add AST. Then one syllable, two syllable that end in Y. All right. So we have here an example. The puppy is the naughtiest of all animals. Okay. So the sentence calls for a superlative adjective. All other choices appear superlative in a sense, but the right way to make fancy superlative is fanciest. Based on the rule above, hence the answer is letter B. All right. So let's proceed now to number 18. Mary Lou and Miranda grew up in blank house in Cabanatuan City. Okay, our choices are a little comfortable, a comfortable little comfortable a little, D, a comfortable little. So the best answer for this item is letter B, a comfortable then little. So again, as the coordinate versus the cumulative adjective, we have the comma rule comes down to the difference between the two kinds of adjectives. So the coordinate and the cumulative. So coordinate adjectives are adjectives in a row that each separately modify the noun that follows, as in heavy, bulky box. Both heavy and the bulky modify the box. You can even rearrange the adjectives and say bulky, heavy box. All right, so we're done already this one. So I think we need to proceed. So the answer for this item is letter B, a comfortable, and little. All right. So this is the continuation. So let's proceed to number 19. Space age blank on December 21, 1957, when Sputnik was launched by the Soviet Union. All right. So A, cited, B, ended, C, flourished, D, commenced. Okay, so the answer for item number 19 is commenced, letter D. Okay, so A is cited. When we say cited, to write or say the words of a book or author. Okay, so letter B. Okay, letter B. The point at which something no longer continues to happen or exist, that is ended. And for the word flourish, on our choice, letter C, to be in a state of activity or production. And letter D, commence, to begin, which is our choice, letter D, commence, because of Sputnik. So the Sputnik beginning of space age happened on December 21, 1957. Hence, the best answer for this item is letter D, commence, or to begin. Right, so let's have number 20. Students blank near the registrar's office to ask for their schedule. A, dispersed. B, crowd. C, congregate. D, stay idling. Okay, So the answer is letter B, crowd. All right. So for our choice A, disperse, to spread apart. Okay. And B, crowd, to press, force or thrust into a small place, to collect in numbers. And for our choice letter C, congregate, to come together into a group or crowd. And letter D, stay idling, to not have no, to not have much activity. All right. The less likely answers are A and D, while the two best options are B and C. The latter and the former have almost the same meaning, but C, congregate, is used with the established groups rather than just with random students and is planned formal. Hence, the best answer is letter